Good morning, Judge. This is Carlos Morales, State Certified Spanish Court Interpreter. The interpreter has been sworn in already today.
Okay. Bennett is wearing the headphones.
Okay, just 1 second, Judge, so I can see if I can establish connection. ¿Me escucha?
No.
Oh. Is the defendant in courtroom? Oh, courtroom 2. Sorry, dialed into the wrong number. Okay, Sorry, just 1 second, Judge. I interpreter dialed into the wrong number.
Do you want us to get our names on the record?
Yeah, go ahead.
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Letitia Follow, the Office of Public Defender.
Yes, we're connected, Judge.
All right, your name, sir?
Ramon Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, you're here this morning because you're arrested on a charge of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. There is probable cause on those offenses. The bond is set in the amount of $1,000 on the possession of cocaine, $100 on the possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Judge, is there a case number for that
Yeah.
case?
PCF 5445.
Good morning. Your name, sir?
Héctor Sanabria Gómez.
Héctor Sanabria Gomez.
All right, sir, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge, on several charges: petty theft, resisting an officer without violence, disorderly intoxication, open container of an alcoholic beverage, and trespass on property after warning. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause as to all of those except for the disorderly intoxication. As to the petty theft, the bond set amount of $100, resisting an officer without violence $500, disorderly intox ROR, open container $100, and trespass on property after warning $100. And I will appoint a public defender to represent you. Thank you, sir. That was in case number 2020 MM 3263AO. What happened with Cesar Seda Pacheco?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Oh. Nice. $15,000 bond. This is the Creole one? Just skip it. Or do you want me to do the Spanish first, or?
That's it. That's all Spanish.
Oh, that's it? Okay. All right, so now we need Creole, and you're not Creole, are you, sir?
No, Judge. We do have a Creole available.
Do I call back, or no?
Yes, if you can just give me two.
Oh, you can hang up. We have it on another way.
Okay, got
All
it.
right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, now, and this one? And, okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, it says call in progress. Is there someone there? Are you there?
Yes, this is the interpreter, Vanessa McCalla Velasquez for Creole.
All righty. All right, sir, your name?
Gardo Francois.
Mr. No,
All right, Mr. Francois, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges.
Monsieur François, ou la jodia, parce que arrêtez-vous selon quelques accusations.
First, possession of methamphetamine with intent.
Première, c'est possession méthamphétamine avec intention.
resisting an officer without violence,
résister à la police sans violence,
possession of drug paraphernalia,
possession et on va qui peut administrer drogue,
and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams.
et possession cannabis moins de 20 grammes.
Do you find sufficient probable cause on those charges?
Rejoindre que il y a motif fondé pour faire ça yo.
I'll set bond as follows. In the possession of methamphetamine, $15,000.
Et pour première accusation, possession méthamphétamine, non,
Resisting
15
without
000
violence.
dollars, 15 000 dollars caution.
Resisting without violence, $100.
Et résistance sans violence, non, 100 dollars.
Possession of drug paraphernalia, $100.
Possession adminicule et bagay qui peut administrer drogue là, 100 dollars.
And possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams, $100.
Et possession cannabis et moins de 20 grammes, non. I'm sorry, Your Honor, that was $100.
And currently you're out on bond on a burglary of a structure, criminal mischief case.
Your Honor,
Yep.
the interpreter wanted clarification on the last bond
Yes.
amount. Is it $100?
Yes, that's correct, $100.
It's $100.
All right, you are currently out on bond on a burglary of a structure and a criminal mischief charge.
Et kounya nous déjà sous libération par caution pour une accusation comportement criminel.
I'm going to revoke those bonds and set no bond on those. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Hey, you wanna? I can ask you something, sir. It's been like 33 days. They ain't filed charges on that yet, man.
Ma fête défenseur public là pour venir représenter vous.
Doesn't sound like he needs an interpreter. All right, thank you, sir.
Merci, monsieur.
I think that's it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Javius
Last name?
Terry, Terry.
All right, Mr. Terry, you're here today for a number of things. First of all, you were arrested on a warrant for the charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person and tampering with a witness to hinder communication with to law enforcement. And then also there was also a violation of probation.
Yeah,
On the violation of probation, there's a bond set in the amount of $5,000.
Your Honor, the victim is also here.
Okay. Ma'am, are you in the box?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear the testimony to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
What is your name?
Jacqueline Carr.
Do you have any questions for the state, or do you just want me to?
No, sir.
Yes, ma'am, what is your relationship to Mr. Terry?
His girlfriend,
How long have you been together?
since he was 15.
Have there been any instances of violence between you in the past?
No, ma'am.
Are you concerned that if Mr. Terry is released, there will be any violence between you?
No, ma'am.
You're not afraid of him?
No, ma'am.
Do you want contact with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further.
All right. Do you guys live together?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Mr. Terry, as to the aggravated battery on a pregnant person, I will set bond in the amount of $1,000. Tampering with a witness or tampering with a witness to hinder communication would be $100. No hostile contact with her, okay?
Yes.
That means you can't raise your voice, can't throw a thing against the wall near her, can't do anything. No hostile contact whatsoever. All right, I'm going to let you go back home and live with her, but any kind of problems that you cause, you're back in jail and it'll be no bond. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns. I'll leave the possession of oxycodone bond in place. Okay? Don't mess up again.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor. Evan Self on behalf of Zakiria Bellamy.
Okay. Ms. Bellamy, you're here today on a arrest warrant out of Orange County for the charge of grand theft third degree. The bond is set at $1,000 on that. I assume that your attorney's here because you also have two other grand theft charges that you're currently out on bond on.
Yes.
That's correct, Your Honor. I just want to bring to the court's attention that in in the 2020 CF 868, that alleged offense occurred on January the 1st, the same date as the alleged offense in 2020 CF 996. She bonded out on that on January the 24th, and for some reason, the 996 case was never served. The arrest warrant, the affidavit to issue the warrant was issued on the 23rd, but was never served on her when she was in jail at that time. She also, on the 2020 CF 551, the state's never, that alleged to have occurred in November. The state's never filed charges on that. She bonded out on that on January the 24th also, after the state already had all this information in the 2020 996. So we'd ask that she not have her bonds revoked in the other cases. She set before Judge Beamer on the 2020 868 case for a pretrial conference later this month. I represent her on the other two cases. I'll be filing my notice of appearance on the 996 case today. She hasn't committed any new offenses, and she turned herself in this week. So we can assure the court that she's going to make all future court appearances.
State, want to be heard?
He's correct on the 20 CF 551. I don't see an information filed, and I was just getting ready to the other case, Your Honor.
Okay.
I don't see an information on that one.
Okay. All right. I'm going to, I'll leave the bond at,
The first one does have an information.
all right. There'll be $1,000, as I said before. No return to the Old Navy store.
Of course.
And I'll leave the other bonds in place. No
Thank you.
action.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your name, sir?
Dylan Cardero.
Mr. Cardero, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Is there anyone here to speak in on this? No?
No.
The alleged victim in this case, your brother, is that right?
Yes.
And do you guys all live together at the Sharp Shine Street, whatever that is?
Yes, sir. I was actually planning on moving back to New York. That's why I haven't really been staying there lately. But yeah, I am on the lease.
All right. Do you have a place to stay on the short term other than that address?
If I'm allowed to leave the state, I'm gonna go to New York. If not, absolutely, I'll go to a friend's or a motel or something. That's what I've been doing anyways.
Because for right now, that's what you're going to have to do, because I'm not going to let you go back there because you're not going to have any contact with him, at least for the short term. It may turn out that they allow you later on, all right? Okay,
That's
I'll set
fine.
on the amount of $500, no
He does
return
qualify
to...
for pretrial release.
Well, sir,
hold on. Go ahead. Hold on. All right, I'll release a PTR. No, there won't be a bond on it. It'll just be pretrial release conditions. No return to 12806 Sharpshine Street. No contact with Brett Cardero. And no guns, no alcohol, no weapons, no drugs.
thank you.
Your name, sir?
Stephen Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, you're here today because you've been charged with or arrested on a violation of domestic violence or domestic injunction. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. You're currently being held on another charge that basically is from the same stuff. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is there a bond on that case?
Yes, sir, there is, but I have a hold from Seminole County for
Oh yeah, okay. For a VOP.
VOP. Yeah.
All right, I'll set bond the amount of $1,000 on the violation of domestic violence injunction. I think it goes without saying that you're not to have any contact whatsoever with, I didn't highlight her name.
Erica Griffiths.
Yeah, no contact with her. Okay?
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Joshua Cummins, mental health.
All right, mental health.
And then the next person after that, Carlos Johnson, medical.
Medical. Cooking with gas now. Your name?
Tyler Dante Latimer, sir.
All right, sir. You're here today because you're arrested on a charge of possession of cocaine. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. There is sufficient probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. Is there? That's it, right? Okay. I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, William Mays, mental health. And the person after that, Andrea Santana, medical.
Do you have somewhere to go today, or moving us right along?
Okay, and
Yeah.
Keaton Walton, behavior.
Behavior.
And Your Honor, we can waive his appearance.
Want to waive on that one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me see. All right. On Mr. Walton's case, defense counsel has waived. I do find sufficient probable cause. Set bond in the amount of $1,000 on the possession of methamphetamine, $100 on the possession of drug paraphernalia. State, what do you want to do? Do you want me to? He was out on bond in possession of meth already, allegedly. Well,
The
no.
court's discretion.
And Your Honor, we ask the court not to revoke.
All right, I'll take no action. Your name, sir?
Kirk Lamar Smith.
Mr. Smith, you're here today because you were arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct and trespass after warning. I have
Well-
reviewed the charging affidavit. There is sufficient probable cause. Set bond amount of $100 on disorderly conduct, $100 on the trespass after warning, and I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Sure.
You know, if because of the disorderly conduct, the trespass, the guy let me come to the store every day to get a coffee. And I was on my way out of the parking lot, and the police came up on me and told me that I had a whatchamacallit, a trespassing. I work right there. The Jamaican restaurant is right inside of Sitco parking lot.
Mr. Ali Bond, who is either the owner or proprietor
Yes.
of the store,
Yes.
says that he told law enforcement he didn't want you there, wanted you to leave, and you refused to leave.
No, Jamal is the owner
That
of the store.
that the officer himself told you that you needed to leave a number of times,
Did leave.
and that you still refused to leave. So that's a problem for you.
Okay, so
You can offer if you'd
Sure.
like to resolve.
Hold on just a second, Mr. Smith. Go ahead.
yes, ma'am. I mean, sir. Sorry, sir. I heard the lady. I apologize.
Sir, if you would like to resolve this today, we could offer adjudication of guilt, credit for time served and court costs, no return to the scene of the Quick Mart at 520 South Orange Blossom Trail, and the time would run concurrently for both counts.
That's released today and what? I didn't catch.
Sometime today, sir.
Okay, ma'am. I didn't catch
So
the.
if you want to do that, it's time served, court costs, and adjudication.
Okay, I'll do the court cost time, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs? So you're going to enter pleas of no contest to both of these. Is that right? No
Yes.
contest?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, ma'am. No, sir.
Have you suffered from or been treated for any mental illness in the past?
No.
Understand you're giving up the right to have a trial in these matters. You're giving up the right to have the state be required to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to question the witnesses that would be brought against you. You're giving up the right to have a defense presented for you by an attorney or to present any witnesses if you wish. You understand that?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right. And you understand finally that these are punishable by up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and that the entries of your plea would result in deportation if you're not a citizen.
Sir, I am an American citizen.
I understand. I have to tell that to everybody. That's why I
Yes,
say
sir.
if you're not, I expect you probably are.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yeah.
I do find sufficient factual basis to accept your pleas of no contest. I will judge you guilty, sentence you to time served on both counts. Those counts will run concurrent with one another. Those court costs in the amount of it's a total of $273. It's court costs and a $50 cost of prosecution.
Yeah.
And did you want to pay that in 6 months, or would you like a payment plan?
Oh, no. Can I pay that at the end of the month on the 30th?
Sure. It'll just say you got to pay it within 180 days. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that'll work.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
You're off that. You'll be released as of this case.
All right, God bless.
Thank you too.
Good morning.
And what
Good morning.
what did you want me to do with that?
I would like to say, thank America, I voted for Donald Trump. And I don't have mental health issues.
What if I'm not? Did I
dyslexia.
not revoke it at all?
He's not
So do I need to put something? Because no KPS entered negotiated plea, revoked conditions, took into consideration condition of release on new case.
Angel Hayes.
I'll just put this. There we go. All right, your name, sir? Your name?
Yeah, Omari Stevens.
All right, Mr. Stevens, you're here today for two matters. First of all, you were arrested and charged with battery and resisting an officer without violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause.
They gave me my paperwork now.
Set bond, hold on. I'm going to set bond amount of $500 for the battery, $100 for resisting an officer without violence, and I will appoint a public defender to represent you. What did you want to say?
I wanted to say thank you to America. I did this whole walk since Detroit for Donald Trump to prove that Swedish girls are tougher than regular
Okay.
girls. I'm a TRAN, and I just didn't want the Irish guys mad. But I had to prove that I was tough, or not a tough person, but just not racist. Zimmerman
All
gave
right.
me $2 for this.
Okay, take care. An attorney will come see you. I don't think I need to tell you what you need to do. I want to make a note about that.
Hey, Dexter.
Your name, sir?
Brian Buchanan.
Your Honor, the Buchanan is also on the status hearing list too, for the out of county and the status hearing. So he here for two things.
All right, I've got that one. Let me see. Back. Buchanan? Yeah. But what about Serena Bingle?
She's coming up, Your Honor. She's like
Okay.
one person down.
All righty. All right, your name, sir?
Brian Buchanan.
Mr. Buchanan, you're here today because you're arrested on an out-of-county warrant. And this was a warrant that was out of Polk County, Seminole County. So for a violation of probation, there is no bond on that. The same one, yeah, there's only one, right? Yeah. Is it in the? Yeah, I don't know. Those, because those were on top, all of those were on top, so I put them in the back. But I'll find it. Yeah, all of the out of counties were up at the top, and I was like, I don't think, whatever. I remember reading it. Let me find it real quick. Oh, okay. All right. Isn't that what I just did? Yeah. So he has a second one, violation of probation? Okay, all right. So the status is that we spoke with Judge Rex Leidler from Seminole County, and there is no bond. They're not going to change that. So we'll wait until we can get you transported. Okay, thank you.
The next person on the docket, Cunningham, Your Honor, medical.
All right. All right, next. Your name, sir?
Ricky Ross.
What was your last name?
Ross.
So it's all of those. Hold on a second. I got them all right here. There we go. And Toro is the last one. That was Cunningham. That one was. All right, Mr. Rawls, you're here because you're arrested on several out-of-county warrants. And these were all out of Seminole County. There are bonds of $3,000, $3,000, $3,000, $3,000, and $3,000 on those. And it's just one, I don't have it on the list. This one that, isn't there more than one page? This is the new one? All right. So there's, you do have bonds on those. So it doesn't happen much with Seminole County, so you're one of the lucky ones. Okay?
All right.
There's your name, ma'am?
Bingle?
All right, Miss Bingle, you're here because you're arrested on an out-of-county warrant from, actually, is it on-site from us?
Your Honor, it's Broward.
From Broward County. It's a violation of probation, and there is no bond on that.
Your Honor, we're asking
Okay.
that you can RR her on this. Broward County is saying there's no warrant and to release any holds from their agency.
Okay, if that's what they want us to do, be more than happy to get her out of our jail. So apparently, Broward County has contacted us saying that there isn't a warrant for violation of probation. So I'm going to release you on your own recognizance.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
And that's to all case numbers.
Okay. I just had, well, there's two sheets, but they're the same number, I thought, when I looked at them. Yeah. We only have one case number. Could you give us the two case numbers you have?
She's here on 062018CF00979, 062018CF000978, and 062017CF013260. And they're all on VOPs.
Okay. All right. Your name?
Luke Charles.
What happened to Christopher Toro? So that's in Out County. All right. All right, Mr. Charles, you're here today because you're arrested on a violation of probation warrant. Bond is $5,000. Want a public defender? I don't know. They didn't say. Yeah, 5,000. What about Christopher Toro? Was an out of county? Do we have him?
It's way down the list, Your Honor, of the regular docket, unless you
He's at
want.
the bottom. All right. That one was at the bottom. That one got moved. All right. We'll get to it eventually. All right. Your name, sir?
Wale Smith Julian, sir.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're here today because State of Florida alleges that you were operating a motor vehicle on the streets and highways of Orange County, Florida on April the 24th of 2020. And at that time, your driving privileges had been suspended or revoked. It's a driving license suspended charge. Letter plea not guilty for. You do have a public defender. We'll set that for pretrial. And that will be?
Division 85 at 8:30 in Apartment 4A.
And your public defender will come out and see. We'll be seeing you. Mm-hmm. Your name, ma'am?
Carol Littlefield.
All right, Ms. Littleford, you're, as you know, being held on a Seminole County warrant. We did make contact with Seminole County, and they do not wish to change that. So it's a no bond, and you'll remain until they can come and transport and come and get you. Okay?
Your Honor, they said they're not doing no transport.
That's the problem. There is the rub. You're right about that. At this point in time, there's a lot of people that are stuck. They're not coming to get people, and we can't drop you off. So until that happens, you'll just have to remain. Okay.
Do you know how long, sir, before Seminole
No
County?
idea. It's a moving target. We get new information every day. The Supreme Court just shut us down for jury trials and other face-to-face stuff until July. So it may be then, it may be sooner. Don't know. Unfortunately, can't give you an answer on that. Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, James Board, is medical.
Just gonna ask him.
If we're going straight down to arraignments, I have Kayla Fields next,
Yep.
bonded. And then after Brandon Chauvin, bonded.
Oh, what was that, Brandon?
It's Shifrin, Shifrin. He also bonded.
Okay, I didn't have him.
Okay.
Okay.
And the next person, Johnny Walker. Do you have Johnny Walker?
I might need some Johnny Walker after the end of the today. It's all confused. Is Johnny Walker next for you guys?
If so, he's ROR, if you find him.
Okay. Is a writ of attachment? Yeah. But if he's here, I can tell him what he needs to do. All right, so who's next? Who do we have next?
Sean Ryan, writ of attachment.
All right, Mr. Ryan.
Good morning.
You're in a writ of bodily attachment out of Orange County. I'm going to be signing in order to release you with the understanding that you're to return on the 9th of June at 8:30 a.m. for a hearing on this matter. We just got news that we probably are not going to be doing those hearings on the 9th of June, so make sure you contact the clerk's office to find out what you need to do. But you will be released pending that. Okay?
Sir.
Your name, sir?
Jonah Harden.
Mr. Harden, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. Actually, it's battery by strangulation, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of methamphetamine. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find there's sufficient probable cause on all of those charges. I will set bond on the possession of methamphetamine at $1,000, possession of drug paraphernalia at $100. Oh, there you go. Signs right there. Could have told him that. And as to the battery, do you currently live at 13,501 West Colonial Drive?
No, sir. I live at 420 South Main Street with my son and my mother.
All right, so you don't have to go back to that address.
No, sir.
All right, perfect. And you don't have any reason to be in contact with Stacy Domini, do you?
I don't have any reason other than my child that she's pregnant with right now.
All right, well, I will set bond on the battery at $500. No contact at all with her at this point in time,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
No drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no weapons. And you can return to that address one time with law enforcement if there is anything that you need there, any personal
No,
items. But if there's not, then you can then just stay away.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
at my house, so
Okay.
she went back to her mother's, that address that you just asked me about.
All right, that's her mother's place?
Yes, that's where she went
All
back
right.
to.
Well, then you're not to return there as well, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck. 500, yeah. Your name, ma'am?
Keisha Smith.
Ms. Smith, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of aggravated battery, domestic violence. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause. Are you living at 2354 Croston Circle? Is that your address?
I just currently moved down here from Oklahoma.
Her victim is also here too,
So I'm not
Your
even
Honor.
from here.
Okay. All right, just a second. Who do we have in the box?
James Butler.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear testimony out to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Butler, you're the alleged victim in this case. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, state any questions?
Yes, sir. What's your relationship to Ms. Smith?
Fiance.
How long have you been together?
About 4 years.
And have there been episodes of violence between you before?
Never.
Are you concerned that if she comes home, something like this might happen again?
No.
Okay. Would you like to have contact with her?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And she doesn't qualify for PTR? Is that
She does
correct?
qualify
Or-
for PTR.
She does? Okay, that was updated. All right, then, all right, Ms. Smith, I'm going to release you, pretrial release conditions. There won't be a bond on it. You're not to have any drugs or alcohol, no guns, no weapons, no rocks, okay? Don't be throwing rocks. And no hostile contact with Mr. Butler. So you can have contact with him, but it can't be hostile.
Yes,
All
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful defender to represent you. Mhm. Your name, sir?
My name is Darren Treadwell.
Mr. Treadwell, you're here because you're arrested on a warrant for the charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person and battery domestic violence. There is no bond on that. And
The victim is also here too, Your Honor.
all right, who's in the box?
You got to speak into the speaker.
Your name,
Nicole
ma'am?
Cornell.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear testimony out to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes? No?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. And you're the alleged victim in this case, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. State, have any questions?
Yes, what's your relationship to Mr. Treadwell?
He's my boyfriend.
How long have you been together?
Over a year.
Has there been any violence between you before?
No.
Are you concerned if when he's released, something like this could happen again?
No.
And so you're pregnant at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you concerned for the unborn child?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you would like contact?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further.
I have a question though. So you're indicating that there was no violence between you before in the charge, in the arrest, the affidavit attached to the warrant. The officer alleges that there had been 6 reported cases of battery domestic violence between November 30th of 2019 and April 24th of 2020 that involved you and Mr. Treadwell. Now, I'm not asking whether in fact anything really occurred, but were you involved with law enforcement 6 times for battery domestic violence with Mr. Treadwell?
Not me personally, no. And there were other stipulations around those events, not violence. They were more mental that never got addressed. I don't know how else to put that.
Well, I mean, I guess the way that it reads is that that law enforcement came out and believed that there was battery domestic violence. When you say not with you, does that mean that you did not call law enforcement during those times? Someone else did, or?
Right. Right. There's been other people involved that were making up statements and stuff like that as well prior to this that are no longer involved.
We would ask for no contact, Your Honor.
No.
You know that if he comes home, there's no protecting you. You get that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And more importantly, you're pregnant. So you may think that you can deal with the abuse if there is any, but you're in a condition that would make it very likely that someone else could be affected by this, by something if Mr. Treadwell were to be violent with you. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't think that you don't have any fear of him?
No, Your Honor.
Did you call law enforcement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I wanted him to seek help for substance abuse issues, and that is.
It's clear that is a problem from the charging or the affidavit attached to the warrant.
Yeah.
You know, one way that we can make sure that happens is if he stays where he is.
I really don't want that.
All right. I know that he qualifies for PTR, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set a bond of $1,000 on the aggravated battery. It'll be $100 on the battery domestic violence.
Your
No
Honor, I don't
hostile
have any
contact.
job. I have no money. I can't get him out. We're moving. I lost everything with this virus.
Your Honor, would the court reconsider giving him PTR?
PTR, he does qualify, huh?
He does qualify. He also provided an alternate address where he can go and stay.
Yeah, that's what we want. All right, I will PTR him, but you can't go home. You can't stay with her.
Yes,
You
sir.
need to go to that alternate address, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Get it? If you go back there and I find out, you're going back to jail and he'll be in without a bond. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
And no hostile contact with her. He can have contact, I guess. No hostile contact. But you got to go live somewhere else. No guns, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. I think that last one's going to be the hard one for you. Reading the affidavit, it sounds like you got a problem. Certainly reads that way. The allegation is this all got started because you wanted to spend money for drugs instead of for food. That's the allegation. I don't know whether it's true or not. I wasn't there. But also the officer observed some things that made it appear. And also I just heard from your girlfriend who's carrying your child that you have a drug problem. It ain't about you anymore. You got a kid now, soon.
Yes, sir.
And you got to decide whether you want to be going back and forth through this in jail, okay? Back in, back out, or whether you want to be a part of that kid's life. That's up to you, really. You got to decide. I know it's whatever you're using, whatever's causing this problem for you is probably difficult to get taken care of. But the first step is you got to decide you want to do it. And from reading this, it doesn't sound like you want to do that. You were upset because you couldn't buy drugs instead of buying food. You got a pregnant girlfriend who needs to eat. She's got a child.
Yes, sir.
So you just got to make it, I mean, this road is just beginning on this case. You may end up back in there anyways. I don't know what's going to happen with the charge, but that could still happen. But you got to decide right now which road you want to go down. You've taken a 3 or 4 steps down the wrong road, and so now you got to decide whether that's going to be the road forever. All right, I'll point a public defender. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hello, Your Honor.
Your name, sir?
Brandon Wiley.
Sir Wiley, you're here today for 2 things. You're arrested on a warrant out of Orange County, charging with battery on a person over 65 and battery domestic violence. And I know by reading the charging affidavit that I guess it's your mother and your grandmother are the alleged victims. Is that right?
Well, I'm not exactly sure if she said my grandmother or my
Don't
grandfather.
talk about what happened. I'm just asking you a simple question.
Yes.
There's supposedly an altercation between your grandmother and your mother and you. All right, now.
It was between my mom and grandma.
Are they there? No?
Sorry?
Anyone there from the family?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have somewhere else to go other than where your grandmother and your mother are living?
No.
Well, where are you going to go? Because if I set a bond for you and you get out, you can't go live there right now. You can't have any contact with them.
I understand that, but they're the only place I have to live. My grandfather's in the hospital, or he was in the hospital. He went back yesterday morning right before I got the warrant. He had an aortic aneurysm on April 17th inside of Publix. Me and my mom have been completely fine. The argument had nothing to do with my grandmother. No hands were ever
Oh,
put
I
on her.
understand that, and you're telling me that, but they're not here, so that doesn't matter to me what you say about that. So you're going to have to go somewhere else.
Okay.
PTR, did he have an alternate address at all?
He did not provide one at the time of his interview. He'll have until tomorrow to provide one.
Okay, I'm going to release you PTR, so there's no bond on it. You can get out. Okay, you'll have PTR conditions, but you're going to have to give them an alternate address. You're going to have something else to do because you're not to return to your grandmother and mother's house. You're not to have any contact with your grandmother or your mother at this point in time because they're not there to say that they want that contact. All right, no guns, no alcohol, no weapons, no drugs. You can return to that home one time with law enforcement to get any items you may need. PTR. Your name, sir?
Justin Abler.
And he also has a victim in the booth, Your Honor.
All right. Who's in the booth? Well, first of all, Mr. Abler, is it Abler or Adler?
Abler. A-B-L-E-R.
Abler with a B, right? Okay.
Yes,
You're
sir.
here because you're arrested on a charge of criminal mischief and battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. A set bond amount of $100 on the criminal mischief. And as to the domestic violence, who's in the box?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the box, your name, please?
Speaking to the mic.
Quintella Grooms.
All right, raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear the testimony you have to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, State, any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Grooms, what is your relationship to Mr. Abler?
He's my boyfriend.
How long have you been together?
A year and 5 months.
So you've broken up at this point?
I'm sorry?
Is that yes?
No.
Are you still together?
Kind of, yes.
Are you wanting to have contact with him?
Yes.
Has anything violent happened between you before?
No.
Do you want him to live at your same residence?
Yes.
Are you concerned if he does return that something like this will happen again?
No.
If something did happen, could you call 911?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Abler, then I will set bond amount of $500 on the battery. No hostile contact with her, okay? You can have contact. You can return back to the home since she wants you to come back. But you can't have any hostile contact at all. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, no guns, no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons.
Your Honor, it's $500 on both counts of DV.
500, 100. 100 on the other. Your name, sir?
I'm Anthony Velez.
All right, sir, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. And Yazira Jimenez, who is that to you?
My girlfriend.
All right. And do you live at the 1468 Mercy Drive, apartment 132? Or does
Yes.
she live there or both?
I'm here, Your Honor. It's not his victim, Your Honor. It's the wrong person at the.
Okay.
No, I'm his girlfriend.
I know, but
Oh,
it's not you. It's,
okay. So I get him?
just stay right now.
Okay.
Somebody's up there, but they're saying it's not his girlfriend. I don't know.
No, we had the, it's supposed to be a female at the podium. His victim is also here, Your Honor, but.
Yeah, well, when he stepped up, he said Velez, so I just went ahead and just went ahead with
If you
that.
want to continue
Yeah, I
on,
know
we can do.
Joanna, Mari, Colon, Crispo, and also Frank Riano were in that order before this one, but I knew where it was, so I just went ahead and started with him. Okay. All right, your name, ma'am?
Johanna Colon.
Ms. Cologne, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery, domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause.
And she does have a victim in the booth.
Okay. Who is in the booth? Your name, please?
Sean Peterson.
All right, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
State, have any questions?
Mr. Peterson, what's your relationship to Ms. Cologne?
She's my wife.
How long have you been together?
5 years, 5.5 years.
How many children do you have?
We have 1 children.
Have there been episodes of violence between you in the past?
No.
This is the first time?
Yeah.
Are you afraid if she returns home, something like this could happen again?
No.
Are you concerned for the safety of your children?
No.
Are you wanting to have contact with her?
Yes, I would like to.
If something did happen, could you call 911?
Yeah.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Cologne, I'm going to release you with pretrial release conditions, okay? No hostile contact with Mr. Peterson, so you can have contact, you can live with him, but just can't have any hostile contact, okay? No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns. And want a public defender to represent you. These ones that I missed, or?
Is that one, this one PPR, Your Honor?
Yes.
The next one's supposed to have a private attorney, Frank Rayo.
Yes.
Are we gonna do him next, or you?
Is that the one you have to call? Oh, they are. Teleconference. Good morning.
Morning.
Your name, sir?
Frank Rihanna.
Mr. Rihanna, are you here today on a charge of battery, domestic violence? I have reviewed the charging affidavit and do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Who do we have on the phone?
Jonathan Mills on his behalf, Your Honor.
Okay. What did you want to say?
Judge, we were just asking for a $500 bond and the standard conditions of release on a domestic case. He's fine with no contact. He'd like to return to the house to pick up his belongings. That's about it.
Okay. He does qualify for PTR.
We would prefer a monetary bond if the court would allow it.
Okay. All right. I'll step on the amount of $500, Mr. Riano. You're not to have any contact with Laura Restrepo, and you're not to return to 11713 Cuxham Drive, except one time you can go there with law enforcement to pick up any personal items you may need. All right. You can't get and take TVs or stuff like that, but you can get clothing or toiletries or anything like that, okay?
Okay.
No guns, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and again, no contact at all with Ms. Restrepo, okay? Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Velez, you're back.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you live at the Mercy Drive? I asked you before. I don't know. We were right getting to that, and then we had to stop.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And does Yazira live there?
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be a problem because you're not going to have contact with her, at least on the short term. All right, she's not there.
Yes,
she is.
I'm here.
Oh,
Yes, we have the right victim in the box now.
Okay. All right. Yazira, raise your right hand, please.
Yes.
Solemnly swear testimony to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your name?
Jacira Jimenez.
All right, ma'am. The state has some questions for you.
Okay.
Ms. Jimenez,
Yes.
what is your relationship to Mr. Velez?
I am his girlfriend.
How long have you been together?
2 years.
Have there been episodes of violence between you in the past?
No, not at all.
And so, do you have a child together?
Yes, we do. Yep.
Are you concerned if he comes home that something like this could happen again?
No.
So you would like to have contact?
Yes, the only reason why I called it was just to diffuse. It was no type of physical contact or anything. It was just to calm him down. That was it.
Right. Nothing further, Your Honor, but related to the fact that she was holding the baby during the physical altercation, we would ask for no contact, at least temporarily.
Okay. All right, and does he not qualify for PTR? That's the initial paperwork, but.
He didn't qualify. He also was served on the writ this morning, so he's gonna have to post bond or he's gonna come back to court tomorrow.
Okay. All right, I'll set bond in the amount of $500. No hostile contact with Ms. Jimenez. And no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll set a bond for you. Apparently you have a writ, though. You're going to have to come back tomorrow anyway, so you're not going to be able to go home today. When you go back, though, again, no hostile contact. Can't raise your voice even to her. All right?
A question, Your Honor. If
Yes.
if the bond is paid, when would he be released? Sometime tomorrow?
Well, it sounds that way. It's apparently he has something else he's got to come back on tomorrow, but then once that is cleared up, you could actually post the bond today, and then as soon as the other thing is done, they would release him, but that's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Contact a bondsman, okay?
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Lamont Bassett.
Mr. Bassett, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended as an habitual traffic offender. I do find sufficient probable cause set bond in the amount of $250 and point a public defender to represent you.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Sam Conti, bonded.
All right.
And then after him, Raymond Cutts, also bonded.
All right. Your name, sir?
Minjel Davis, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Davis, you're here because you're arrested on a charge of possession of methamphetamine, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find sufficient probable cause. Set bond amount of $1,000 on the possession of methamphetamine, $100 on the possession of cannabis, and I'll take no action on the bond that you're out on currently.
So would I be able to bond? Okay. Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Julian Eaton.
All right, Mr. Eaton, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. I have read the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for possession of cannabis, or for possession of cocaine. I don't think there's enough for the intent. All he said was it was one chunky thing in a clear plastic baggie, and he had $229 on his person. And that he had, I guess, was on probation for something. So I don't think there's sufficient. I'll set on that $1,000 on that charge. Point a public defender to represent you.
What about the probation?
Yeah, dispossession.
No.
No. I'm gonna guess. No, I won't guess. It's 893.13.1A. Yeah. Simple possession. All right, we'll get that before we get done. Your name, sir?
Elliot.
First name?
Hey, Elliot.
Hi, Mr. Elliott. You're here today for two things. You were arrested on charge of driving while license suspended or revoked, and also a failure to register a motor vehicle. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. As to the driving while license suspended, set bond amount of $250. As to the registration charge, ROR.
Come on. Come on up. Come on. Speak.
Your name, sir?
Omar Maurice Goban.
Mr. Goban, you're here today because you're arrested on a arrest warrant issued for the charge of burglary of a dwelling, petty theft, or 2 counts of petty theft, Bond on the burglary dwelling is $5,000. The bond on the petty theft is $1,000 apiece. You're also currently out on bond on burglary of an occupied structure during state of emergency and petty theft, and we revoke those bonds and set no bond on those.
Your Honor, he
Want a
also
public
had
defender to
a,
represent you.
he also had
Excuse
a,
me?
he also had an open case for 2019 MM 005568AO. It's a
Oh, that's
people-
the drug paraphernalia?
yes.
Yeah. Find sufficient probable cause, set bond, the amount of $100. Sorry, I missed that one.
That's in addition to the current case of possession of drug paraphernalia. He had an open case. It was an add-on fad. Case of 3268, and then he had an open case of 5568. Both were possession of drug paraphernalia.
All right, the paraphernalia came when they arrested him on the warrant, right?
He had a new case of drug paraphernalia, 3268, and then he also had an add-on fad. That one was 5568.
So, yeah, that's the one I said, no bond. That's a different case. Oh. Defendant has been arrested for a new offense in case number, all right, then no bond on, whatever, yeah. Revoke the bond.
And Your Honor, is that the add-on bond you took action on?
Yeah, there was a possession of drug paraphernalia where he got arrested. I set bond of $100 on that one. He was out on bond for 2 cases, and I revoked those bonds. Okay. And then the bonds that were on the warrant that was served on him, that's what I stayed. Your name, sir?
David Henry.
Mr. Henry, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges. First of all, robbery, possession of drug paraphernalia, petty theft, 2 prior convictions, battery, and possession of cannabis. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find that there's sufficient probable cause in those. The bond on the robbery will be set at $5,000, drug paraphernalia $100, petty theft $150, battery $100, and possession of cannabis $100. You're also currently out on bond on possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll take no action on those.
The next person on the docket, Jones, Your Honor, behavior.
Yes. Behavior.
Your Honor, we waive her appearance.
Okay. We're going to waive her appearance. As to the new charges, I've read the charging affidavit. In the possession of methamphetamine, be $1,000 bond. Possession of drug paraphernalia, $100 bond. She's currently out on a possession of a controlled substance of $1,000 bond. I revoke that bond, no bond. And then another charge of possession of methamphetamine, possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia. Revoke those bonds, no bond.
A lot of more. Let's let them more. Lattimore was next.
I have Maverick Mendez. Is that what we have next?
That was another
Mr.
Lattimore.
Mendez is in the hospital, Your Honor.
All right, hospital.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Your name, sir?
Dexter Mitchell, sir.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges: trafficking in cocaine, less than 28 or over less than 200 over 28 grams, possession of cocaine with intent, possession of cocaine with intent, possession of methamphetamine with intent, and possession of cocaine and possession of crystal meth. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Bonds are set as follows. In the trafficking case, it would be $50,000. Possession of cocaine with intent, $7,500. Possession of cocaine with intent, $7,500. Possession of methamphetamine with intent, $2,500. and possession of cocaine and possession of crystal meth, $1,000 apiece. I will appoint a public defender to represent you.
And Your Honor,
Mhm.
will the court consider a bond reduction from the 50,000 to 25,000?
State.
Yes, court, state of bond.
Yeah, I'm going to stay the bond. It was 97 bags, 33 grams. Thank you. Your name, sir?
Raymond Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of possession of a controlled substance, prescription without the proper prescription. I have read the charging affidavit. Do find sufficient probable cause. He does qualify for PTR.
He does qualify.
All right, I'll release you pretrial release conditions. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
Yes, sir.
Your name, sir?
Alexis Morel, Your Honor.
Mr. Morel, you're here today because you're arrested on several charges: robbery, petty theft with 2 prior convictions, and a battery. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. As to the robbery, bond was set in the amount of $5,000. Petty theft would be $150, and the battery $100. And I'll appoint a public defender to represent you.
And the next person on the docket, Jonathan Osorio, is medical.
I have a lot of extra work to do when they get back. Your name, sir?
Joseph Trochet.
Mr. Trochet, you're here today because you're arrested when charged with petty theft, 2 prior convictions. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. I'll set bond the amount of $500 and appoint a public defender to represent you.
Yeah, we already did him. We already did him. We need Burker. We already had it.
Your name, ma'am?
Khadijah Berkeley.
Ms. Berkeley, are you here because you're arrested on 2 charges: possession of drug paraphernalia and driving while license suspended or revoked. I have read the charging affidavits. I do find sufficient probable cause. As to the driving while license suspended, I'll set bond the amount of $100 and possession of drug paraphernalia $100. I'm a public defender in both cases for you.
Okay, so I have to get a $200 bond, sir?
That's what the bonds are, yeah. You don't qualify for PTR, unfortunately.
May I ask why, sir?
I don't know. I just get the paperwork.
He was unable to provide a current address or answer probing questions.
Okay, but what if I can do that, sir?
Well, right now, that's what the bond is, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Joel Castro Frias.
Mr. Castro, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. I did read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. A set bond in the amount of $250. You're also out on a possession of cocaine charge, where there's a $1,000 bond. You're out on a second possession of cocaine charge and a no valid driver's license. I'll take no action on the no valid driver's license. And on the possession of cocaine charges, I'm going to revoke those bonds and impose new bonds of $2,500 on each one of those. What's that?
On the 88,
250.
it had 2 counts. So you want 2,500 on count 1, and what's the other bond?
Let me see. Oh, yeah, you're right. Make that, just make it 1,000 apiece. On 2863, there was 2 counts. So it'd be 1,000, 1,000, and then on the other cocaine, it'll be 2. Yeah. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. So 566. It's only one with 2 counts, so.
Bond amount on
Sure. On the one, I'm revoking the bonds and imposing new bonds of $1,000 apiece on them with two counts. The other one, I revoked the bond, $1,000 bond, and made it $2,500. And then on the driving license suspended, it was $250. as I recall.
The next person on the docket, Christopher Lentz, bonded out.
Okay. Your name, ma'am?
Hi,
Your name?
Raisa Rivera.
All right, ma'am, you're here today because you're arrested on charge of operating a motor vehicle on the streets and highways of Orange County, Florida, while it was not properly registered, and operating a motor vehicle while at the time your driving privileges were revoked or suspended. I've read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause, and will set bonds as follows. In the $250 on the driving license suspended, and $100 on the failure to register, and I will take no action on the case that you're out on bond on.
Okay.
Fisher should be. Oh, he is, I didn't know. The next person on the docket, Your Honor, Rashad Fisher, is behavior.
Behavior? People are causing
Your Honor, we waive his appearance.
All right. In that case, the defense counsel has waived. I do find sufficient probable cause based on my review of the charging affidavit. Set bond in the amount of $250. Your name, sir?
Michael Paul Flowers, Your Honor.
Mr. Flowers, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of battery. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. Stay the bond at $500, and if you do bond out, you have to have no contact with Jareed Ali, or return to the 6415 West Colonial Drive address where the store is that this allegedly occurred at. Okay, I appoint a public defender to represent you.
All right.
Your name, ma'am?
Good morning.
Tell him your name.
Oh, Night Gaskin.
All right, Ms. Gaskins, you're here today because you're arrested on a charge of trespass to a conveyance. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. And I will set bond in the amount of $250 and appoint a public defender to represent you.
Your Honor, she
Yep.
can resolve her case if the state has an offer.
Okay.
She is on probation for Polk County.
Oh, is she? Are you on probation in Polk County?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea to plea then. So no. All right. 250, yep.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Nicole McKelly, mental health.
All right. Your name, sir?
Ruben Omar Rivera.
All right, Mr. Rivera, you're here today because you were arrested on 3 charges: trespass on after warning, providing false ID to a law enforcement officer, and resisting an officer without violence. I have read the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. As to the false ID, $500 bond; trespass on property after warning, $100 bond; and the resisting without violence, a $100 bond. You also were arrested on a warrant out of Polk County. Actually, it's 2, and they're is it 2 or 1? It's 2 counts.
The other one of those had been dropped, so I don't
Well,
know.
that's not what we show. So the bond on those are $2,000 for those cases. All right.
Yes.
And we'll be contacting Polk County to see if they want to reduce that, but my guess is that that's very unlikely, being that it's Polk County.
All right.
Your name, sir?
Christopher Toro.
All right. Mr. Toro, you're here today because you were arrested on a warrant out of Seminole County. And currently there is no bond on that. And we will be contacting Seminole County to see if they're willing to or would like that to be either a bond to be set or how they want to handle that. And then it'll be brought back to determine that. You are currently out on bond in Orange County for possession of fentanyl. Now, I'll leave it up to you. If you want me to revoke that bond, and then you can start getting gain time, or you'll get credit. Otherwise, you're currently not sitting in jail on that case, and as a result, you're not going to get any credit for the time that you're sitting here.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to revoke that so I can start getting credit for that time.
We'll do that. All right, I'll revoke that bond,
Thank you so much.
and recommit him on that case.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Your name, sir?
Cody Wayne Boykin, Your Honor.
Mr. Boykin, you're here today because you're arrested on a violation of probation. There is currently no bond on that. That is ours, isn't it? There's also a new charge of resisting an officer without violence. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find sufficient probable cause. There's a bond of $500 on that, and I'll appoint a public defender to represent you on that. And yeah, I guess the VOP was here out of here.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
The instance happened was I just finished cooking dinner for me and my girlfriend and my father, and we walked up to the 7-Eleven and we saw there was police out, and so we went inside the store and immediately three officers came.
Yeah, the public defender is not happy. Don't start talking about things. You may hurt yourself. You may talk about your case, and that could cause a problem.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
All right. Good luck.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, John Junkins, behavior.
Okay.
Okay.
Your name, sir?
Scott Richard Sibley.
All right, Mr. Sibley, you're here today. You're arrested on 2 charges, one being false information, and the other was resisting an officer without violence. Do find sufficient probable cause, and we'll set bond in the amount of $250 on each count. There seems to be a notation that he has a Marion County warrant. Is that?
Yes, he's on probation in Marion County,
Monroe.
Monroe County.
Monroe. Is he being held on a violation or no?
Yes, Your Honor, with the zero bond.
Okay. And so there is a violation, on-site violation for that with no bond. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sibley. I don't have any more. Buchanan, Littleford, and Hickman. Your name, sir?
Kyle Hickman, Your Honor.
Mr. Hickman, you're here for a status on your Lee County holds. We have contacted Judge Porter in Lee County, and he indicated that they would like it to remain at no bond. So there will be no bond on that, so we can get you transferred. Thank you. $33 dayers.